Hello everyone. In the last session, we understood declaration of an arrays and what is the use of arrays, what problem it solves, and we saw how it is internally represented in the memory, how it works, how to access the value, how to declare an array. So those things we have seen. In this session, we will go like we'll go some more level of understanding. Okay, we will directly jump into the code editor. Okay, so this is the program in the last session we have written, like what are the different ways to declare uh, an array and then putting the values. And we know like the size is mandatory. Either we can we can mention at the time of declaration, or we can it will auto calculate the size based on the number of elements in that array while declaring. So these are the two ways, and if we declare in this way, we have to give set the values based on the index of the location of an array. We already know like this is the internal representation of array, and each cell has its like index or location, and it will have values inside that. And so generally variables will have each a variable will represent to one location. Here one variable represent as a list of values or list of locations or whatever. So that way we get particular value based on the index of an array using variable name, and then open close bracket and the index of the array, so that in that index we are setting the value here, and this is the way we are getting the fourth value using the index 3. Okay, we will take this example. We are okay, maybe we will move this down. Okay, and we will just keep this here. So this is the internally how the memory it calculates and how it assigns the JVM, or how the JVM tells the computer to allocate this much memory in the this much memory. Okay, so in this session, like now we will see how we can set and access the values. Okay, mainly how we can access the values. So we know like there are 5 elements in this array. Okay, and this is the variable name, and this is how we can access. Suppose we want to print all the values in the array. Printing or accessing or like everything is same. For this example, we first try to print. Okay. Okay. So this is step 1, declaring and initializing. This is declaring a variable array, declaring an array. This is declare and then assign a value. Same it applies to variable also. If you declare a variable, this is declaration. If you declare a variable with value, that means assigning also, initialization or assignment or whatever. So at the time of declaration, if you put a value, that is initialization, like declare and initialization. And if you just declare a variable, that is just declaration. So in this case also, an array is declared and also initialized. We have assigned the value at the time of okay. Okay, so and we are now trying to print or access the values of an array. So basically, if you want to print a variable, print a value in that variable, so we just use the variable name. But whereas in arrays, we have to use a particular index of an array so that we can get that particular value. So array index starts from 0. So that's why we keep 0 as the first element. And total we have 4, okay? Total 5 elements. Okay, let's see what will happen if you give this. Okay, let's try to print. Okay, we are just printing each element, like each value in that array. Okay, let's run this. You see there is an error. So yeah, this is printing first 4. So this we know it will be 1 because this is the first element. So first element is accessed using 0th index. So like this we can print. So here it will be 5. It will be 3. And here, so this is computer doesn't know, or the JVM doesn't allocate for this array. This is the 6th element. So the memory is allocated only for 5 elements, not for 6 elements. That's why it is giving error. Array index out of bound exception, because this is unable to get the value. So that's why index by out of bounds for length 5. Okay, length 5 means 6 elements because index starts from 0. So we have to be careful while accessing the array values. So we should not go beyond the length of the array. Okay, so we can also print dot length. So there are some, like, we call it as a there is a way we can get the length. Maybe yeah, this is a yeah. For now, yeah, how to get the size of the array using this, we can get this. So this will give a length as 5. Okay, suppose we format the response so that there will not be any confusion. Size of the array. Okay, okay, we know it is 5. Okay, we can get using length length keyword, or like length method or something. Okay, okay, for now, okay, we can just move it out, move it up. So in the previous sessions, we know there is some concept. Okay, for example, here we are doing the print statement repeatedly. Only changing is the index is changing. So do you get anything? How to reduce the lines of code? It is okay because five elements, so it's easy to print the 5 elements. Suppose if there are 100 elements in the employee, suppose if the size is increasing, so in that case, you have to write 100 lines of code. So instead of that, we have a loop, like loops or like looping statements in Java. Java supports how to uh, reduce the lines of code. Like if you want anything in the repeatedly, we can use looping statements. For example, in this case, we know the size of the array, right? So we can go for array for loop also using for and a body. What we want to do, we want to print, and this is the one changing, right? So what is the initial value? So initial value is 0. Okay, you can go back and see the previous videos for like first you can understand the while loop so that you can understand for loop also. And so the for loop syntax is this is the declaration part. So that means what is the initial value, and when this should end, the condition should end, otherwise it will go in a finite loop. So I less than 5 means it should not go beyond 4. That's why we are breaking here. And after every iteration, after executing this part, we are saying after every iteration we are saying increment the I by 1. I plus plus means I equal to I plus 1. So we are telling increment 1. So first it will declare the only first time, and and then it will check this condition. So this condition is true, and we are saying I here. So we are replacing the constant with a variable so that this 0 will go here for the first time, and employee 0, it will print 1, and then it will go back and increment. This is the step 3. So step 1, step 2, step 3. If it is true, if it matches, then it will go and execute, and then it will come here step 4, and then again it will go back and check the condition. So like that this executes. Okay, let's try to run this. Let's comment this out so that we will not get confused. You can see same output. Even we know how to get the size of the array also using a length method, or like associated length. So using this syntax we can get the length of the array. So let's print this out. So same output. If suppose we have added one more or like two more values, so we no need to write again this statement because we are doing loop. It will start from 0th index, it will end at length because this is dynamically it will fetch and assign here. Okay, let's run this out. So it is printing without any quotation. So whenever we want to print the values in an array, we can do traditional way, like if you want to get particular element value, we can use this way, or if you want to print all the values, then you can use for loop, or even we can do same with the while loop also. For while loop, the step 1 is x I equal to 0. We can give more meaningful name like index equal to 0. That is the starting. Step 2, here the condition. So the condition is index less than same employee dot length. If condition is true, it will keep uh, doing the logic inside the while loop. Same here. And also here we have to give index because that is the value it is changing on the condition. And also the step 3 is increment, because if we don't increment, this condition will always be true because 0 less than 7. So that will always be true and this will keep on running. We have to break somewhere so that this condition should fail. So in our case, it keep increment one by one because the index is incremented by 1. The index inside so 0, 1, 2, 3, because these are incremented by 1, 1. So that's why we are incrementing by 1. Okay. So that's okay. Let's comment this so that so you can see same output even with the while also. Okay, that is how we can print the values of an array. Okay. Yeah. So that is all about arrays and how we can access the values or print the like the array. Okay. So yeah, that's all for this session.